Well, affordable housing is greatly needed across Minnesota and in our area specifically. So today, ground was broken on a second new development in West Duluth. And they're going up here along Grand Avenue behind Menards with the help of City Housing. Northern News Now's Dominic Vitiello takes us to the highly anticipated groundbreaking.
Homelessness continues to be a key issue in cities across the state. A 2023 study documented a third of the Minnesota's homeless population is in the non-urban, more rural areas, and found those who are homeless in those areas move around more often and suffer from long-term homelessness.
Nobody wants that in our state. Everybody thinks that people deserve dignity, and that starts with home and having a place to call home.
City Housing is closing in on adding 90 new affordable housing units to West Duluth between Menards and Memorial Park. The two different sites will consist of studio and one-bedroom units of permanent supportive housing focused on long-term homeless, single adults, and those with disabilities.
Living on the streets is absolutely the worst treatment plan for anyone. No one gets sober on the streets. No one's mental health gets better. So people need a place.
The state agency that oversees housing provided more than $25 million to the two projects. Anyone who are deemed homeless qualify. Residents will also be screened for any disabilities to cater to their housing needs.
Supportive housing ends homelessness. They're often the first step for people who are experiencing homelessness and a needed step that provides deep affordability and supportive services. Some people need both of those things to stay stably housed.
According to City Housing, residents will pay a third of their available income, with the rest paid for through state, city, and county funds, as well as numerous housing agencies and organizations. Those with City Housing say they don't expect these units to turn a profit, but the organization says they will continue to build developments to help alleviate the shortage of affordable housing in the community. Dominic Vitiello, Northern News Now.
And construction is expected to wrap up by next February. You can learn more about the project and what's needed to live there on our website.